Bien, gracias. ¿Y tú?
Pretty good. Thanks for X. Well, it's also this week I feel that I'm gonna get sick. But
Oh,
well,
sorry.
the weather isn't helpful. It sometimes is hot, and other days is really cold, or maybe windy, or it's rainy. So maybe it's the weather. It's a seasonal flu. So well, we are gonna continue with the last topic that was present perfect tense, right?
Right.
Okay, so we're gonna check the smart chart. Okay, so remember, now we use present perfect tense when we talk about for events that happened in the past and we don't know when happened. We don't have a time. So it's an unspecified time, and it's when we use present perfect. The other use to present perfect is when we have an action, but the action is incomplete. So we know that the action starting past now is incomplete and maybe is gonna end earlier. Not yet, but earlier is gonna end. The other use is when we talk about events that are frequently repeated events in the past until now. And we know that this is similar to present simple, but remember that the events start in the past and they are frequently happen, but we are not talking that the activities happening at the moment. So that's different to present perfect to present simple. So we have the other grammar summary chart, sorry, to present perfect. And we have here the different uses too. When we don't have a specific time and when we talk about like experiences. For example, she's won many awards, so we don't say when it happened. We know that this happened and this is an life experience. The one, the award. We have other use, for example, unfinished time periods is similar to unfinished time, but we are talking about a period of time. So we use present perfect when we talk about a period of time that have not finished. And we have some examples like today, this week, this month. For example, she's had 5 cups of coffee today. That's similar that unspecified time, but we have a period of time. This case, during the day, today, she had 5 cups of coffee. So in this case, we usually use she have had 5 cups of coffee. Remember, we made a contraction to the subject and the auxiliary verb has. She has had 5 cups of coffee today. The other use is when we have events that finish, so finish events that are connected to now. So the events recently happened. For example, he lost his keys. He lost his keys. So maybe this action happened recently, and we said he has lost his keys because maybe he can't find the keys, or maybe he is gonna trying to enter the house. We have here in the brackets. Now he can't enter his house because he lost he's lost his keys. So this action that happened in the past, but it has a connection to now, or a result in the present. So it's really common when we use present perfect tense that we have a result in the present. We have an action and a result. The action is lost the keys, and the result, well, he can't enter his house. The other use is when we talk about a completion or achievement. For example, has he tied his room? Has he tied his room? So in this case, this activity has recently been complete or done. And we have the question, has he tied his room? And if you know that this recently happened, you can say yes, yes, he has. Or yeah, and no, he hasn't. So when we have a event that has recently complete, that has been completed or has been done, we use present perfect tense. Other example here is I have finally finished my homework. I have finally finished my homework. So maybe this activity has complete really recently, you don't know, in a specific time. If it is a activity end 5 minutes ago or 1 hour ago, but you know that this activity has complete recently. So that's when we use present perfect tense and no past simple tense. If remember, we when we know when happened, when this activity ends, we have to use past simple tense. So if you have a specific time, you have to use past simple tense. But if you don't have a specific time, you have to use present perfect. Hello, hello. ¿Sí me escuchas? ¿Sigo en la
Yes.
reunión? Ah,
Sí.
ok. ¿Sigues viendo la pantalla?
¿Cómo?
Sí, sigues viendo la pantalla.
Sí, nada más que, bueno, se fue un poquito.
Es que se salió de la reunión.
Sí, como que se desfasó la imagen. Ah, ya. Otra vez ya la ve.
Ya. Entonces, hablábamos de actividades que fueron recientemente completadas, que ya sí que pues se completaron recientemente. Teníamos que si tenemos tiempo, sabemos cuándo terminó un tiempo en específico, pasado simple. Si no sabemos cuándo terminó un tiempo en específico, presente perfecto. Entonces continuamos con el otro uso, the duration of something when we use for instance. It's really common to use this preposition when we are talking on present perfect tense. Remember the difference for and since. We use for when we have a period of time. For example, when we have 2 months, 3 days, 5 weeks, many years, 10 years, uh, month, weeks, years, days. It's when we use for. But when we have a specific point on the time, for example, yesterday, in the morning, in the breakfast, a month, in a specific month like January, April, or September, on a specific day like Friday, Wednesday, Sunday, or on a specific year. In this case, we have 2019. We use since. So for is by a period of time, a length of time. And since is in a specific time or point in the past. So we have here some examples. They have rent a house for 2 months. We have rent his house since 2019. So we can see the difference of these two sentences. The first one used for because you have a period of time, 2 months. And the second one is since because you have a specific point in the past. In this case, a year, 2019. So it's important to remember according at the time that you are gonna use if you are talking about a number. Because a time that you can count, you have to use for. And if you have a specific event, a specific day, a specific part of the day, for example, in the morning, you have to use since. So this is really easier. Do you have any questions about this?
Not in this moment.
Okay. And the last uses. Repetitions, that when we have habitual actions. So it's when we have an activity that had been repeated many times until now, and this likely continue to happen. So it's when we are talking that that the activity started in the past, and this activity continue until now, and maybe it's gonna end earlier. You don't know, but it's when we use the repetition or actions that are uh, often. For example, I have called him 10 times and he still hasn't answered the phone. So in this case, we have an activity that has been repeated many times. In this case, call him 10 times. Uh-huh. But this is gonna be continue happen because this person, the person is gonna getting the calls, hasn't answered the phone. So this person is gonna continue doing this activity because don't get an answer. Other example that we have here, he has seen the movie over a dozen times. And in this case, in this situation, we're talking that maybe this person really likes the movie and this person has seen the movie a dozen times. So we have a specific number of times that happen, dozen times, because this activity had been repeated during the time. And the last use, the first time. When we are talking about our life experiences, or when we are talking about experiences that are the first one, it's when we use present perfect tense. For example, the first time that you kissed someone, maybe, or the first time that you see it at a movie, so it's experience. So when we are talking about an experience that was the first time, the second time, third time, when we can count the specific time that happened, we can use present perfect tense. For example, this is the first time I have done it. That is the third time he has showed it at us. So when we are talking about experiences that are the first time, second time, that are life experiences, is when we use present perfect tense. Okay, so this was the review about the last class.
Mhm.
So now we have to continue to the next one. That is the differences to present perfect and past simple. Okay, remember, we use past simple when we are talking about an actions that are complete, that finish in the past. And when we are talking about maybe an action that complete in the past, um, for example, you wake up at 7 a.m. and this activity ends in the morning. Other uses when we are talking about a series of actions that are complete in the past. So we have an example. He sat down, took out a notebook and pen and started writing. So this is like a complete action, but we are talking about a lot of different activities or actions that happen and are complete in the past. The other use is when we are talking about for habits or actions that are repeated but end in the past. Maybe, for example, when you went at school, you wake up at a specific hour, and maybe you usually use a specific, um, I don't know, type of books, or maybe when you was in high school, you usually go out with friends. But when the high school ends, you don't continue doing these activities. So in this case, these activities that was a part of your routine now aren't part of your routine. So that's when we use simple past. And the other use is when we are talking about duration in past. Maybe an activity started in past, but in a specific time, and we have a period of time that happened in the past and in the past. So at the end, we are talking about of activities that are complete. So it's the uses, or it's when we use simple past tense. So now we have here the differences of past simple and present perfect. We use past simple when we are talking about finish actions, and present perfect, the activities aren't finished. Maybe are continuing on a specific now, but we are talking about unfinished action. We use past simple when we have a general experience, a different, I want a specific event, or I want a specific experience. When we are talking about general experiences, for example, maybe the first book that you read now, for example, here in the example 1, 2, 3, on the box in the left that said indicate a series of finished actions. We have first he read the book and then he watched the movie. So maybe the first time that he read the book, we are talking about a general experience. And when we are talking about a specific event, it's when we know maybe this happen, or maybe in a specific experience, like the first time that you read this specific book. And the other difference to past simple to present perfect is when we have a time. When we have a specific time, a definite time, is when we use past simple. And when we don't have a specific time, an undefinite time, is when we use present perfect. Past simple, when this happened and when this end. And present perfect, maybe when this happened, but you don't know when end. This is clear, so. Did you understand?
Yes, I understand. Sorry, I
Okay,
can speak, but my mic is off.
okay, your microphone was off, don't worry. So, okay, we have an exercise. We have to apply the verbs on brackets in the correct tense. So we have, for example, number one. I go to my first football match when I was 6. So when we are talking of the first football match, we are talking about a experience and a specific experience, right?
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think is gonna be the correct answer? Present perfect or past simple? The answer is gonna be I went to my first football match when I was 6, or I have gone to my first football match when I was 6.
Past simple.
As simple. Okay, let's check again the differences. We
Uh-huh.
have here, for example,
For express finish time, because the uh, the time is in finish when he
okay, when he was
was
6. Okay,
6 years.
okay, maybe it could be, but remember when we are talking about, oh, oh, when we are talking about experiences, not my
Mhm.
first football match, we can use two present perfect tense. So both are correct. You can say I went when I was 6, but you can use present perfect tense too, because we are talking about a first experience. So both are correct. But yes, it's okay to write went because this happened when I was 6. But both are correct. In this case, both
Mhm.
are correct. Okay. So you continue with the number 2 at number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Okay.
bien, más o menos. ¿Tienes dudas?
Creo que bien, me faltan dos.
Ok, igual, esta vez que si tienes dudas o preguntas me puedes decir, ¿vale?
Sí, gracias. Okay.
Okay, so let's check the answers. So the number two, my sister.
My sister has never seen a film at the cinema.
Okay, number three.
I have haven't go to a birthday party since last March.
Since last March. Number three,
Since
number four.
in 20, 2005,
Or 2005.
2004,
Uh-huh.
my brother met five players from the Real Madrid team.
Okay, so the season pass is met.
Met.
Because it's with one E. Meet and
Yes,
met. Okay.
one E.
Uh-huh. Number
Uh,
5.
where did you live when you were younger?
Okay. Number 6.
I have an argument with my girlfriend at the weekend.
I have.
Oh, had with a
I
D.
have. Okay. With D. I have. Number 7.
They have studied English yet.
They've studied English yet. Okay. Number 8.
I went on holiday last summer
Okay. Holiday. Number 9.
and my dad has smoked science since
Hint.
since 22.
Okay. 22,
Uh,
2002.
how long have you known Jeremy?
Okay. So, yeah. The second one is have never seen. Now, never
Oh,
is next to the auxiliary verb.
mhm,
So, have seen, have never seen. En Spanish sería como mi hermana nunca ha visto una película en el cine. My sister have never seen film at cinema. The number 3 or the third exercise is haven't gone. No, could be have not or haven't gone or
mm,
I've not. No, I have not. I've not gone to a birthday party since last March. Number 4, in 2005, my brother met with one E, met 5 players from the Real Madrid team. Where did you live when you were younger? It's correct too. I had D, an argument with my girlfriend at weekend. They have studied English yet. I went on holiday last summer. My dad have smoked since 2002. Oh, my dad. Uh, no, you can't make a contraction with my dad. So my dad have smoked. And how long have you known Jeremy? So maybe other way to identify if
mhm,
it's past tense at present perfect is when you translate it. Cuando lo traduces. Siento que a veces es un poquito más fácil porque en presente perfecto es como yo he salido o no he salido. Ella ha viajado o no ha viajado. Y en pasado es más como yo salí, yo no salí, ella viajó, ella no viajó. Y lo vemos aquí, por ejemplo, um, por ejemplo, en la pregunta, Where did you live when you were younger? Si lo tradujeras como yo, ¿dónde has tú vivido cuando tú eras joven? No tiene mucho sentido en
mhm.
español. Entonces, más bien sería ¿dónde viviste cuando estabas joven? Ah, ¿dónde has vivido cuando estabas joven? Pues
Suena raro.
definitivamente
Sí.
sería en pasado. Exacto, suena muy raro. Entonces, ¿dónde viviste cuando eras joven? O en, por ejemplo, I haven't gone to a birthday party since last March. Number 3. Yo no he ido a una fiesta de cumpleaños desde el marzo pasado,
Pasado.
desde marzo, ¿no? Desde marzo. Entonces, no tendría mucho sentido decir yo no fui a una fiesta de cumpleaños desde marzo. Yo no fui a yo no he ido.
Sí, tuve
Cuando
que,
hablamos
bueno,
de diciembre. Ajá, a ver.
como que traducirlos en mi cerebro, porque algunas me parecía que quedaban en ambas.
Ajá, sí,
Pero sí, justo como que había palabritas que no me cuadraban y decía como, probablemente no sea de este".
exacto, ¿no? Entonces, a veces es en ciertos tiempos verbales, en este caso pasado y presente perfecto, siento que queda muy bien a la hora de traducirlo. En otros tiempos verbales no se puede llegar a notar tanto esa diferencia
Ujú,
porque recuerda que muchas veces la traducción no es literal, ¿no? Pero en este caso, para tratar de identificar si hablamos de algo en pasado o en presente perfecto, pues estamos hablando de situaciones que se completaron o no se completaron. Si se completaron, en pasado ya terminaron, pasado simple. Y no se han completado, presente perfecto. Si estamos
ujú,
hablando de una experiencia en general, estamos hablando de pasado simple. Estamos hablando de un evento en específico, presente perfecto. Si hablamos que tiene un tiempo definido, o sea, sabemos cuándo pasó, pasado simple. Si no sabemos cuándo pasó, presente perfecto. Entonces, pasado simple, cuando tenemos un tiempo definido, como en el ejemplo. Nosotros vivimos en Japón desde 1995 a 1998. Si no tenemos un tiempo en específico, solamente en este caso tenemos desde tal tiempo, no sabemos si realmente continúa viviendo ahí, pero vivió o ha vivido ahí desde el 2011, entonces estamos hablando de presente perfecto. I've worked as a teacher since, okay, well, this is a completely other sentence. No, yo he trabajado como maestro de inglés desde 2011, pero también podría aplicar cambiándole, ¿no? We have lived in Japan since 2011. Cuando tenemos un tiempo definido, ¿no? Una referencia de un tiempo definido, en específico, como I saw the Eiffel Tower in 2007, yo he visto, no, yo vi la Torre Eiffel en el 2007 como una experiencia, ¿no? Una experiencia general, a diferencia de decir, ah, ok, yo he visto la Torre Eiffel, no tengo un tiempo en específico, entonces si no tengo un tiempo, presente perfecto. Y la parte de abajo que dice, indica una serie de acciones que están completadas, que han terminadas, se han terminado, estamos hablando que la acción ha terminado, en este caso es una serie de acciones, pasado simple. Si hablamos de una experiencia o un resultado, presente perfecto. Por ejemplo, she has already watched this movie 3 times. Es una experiencia. El que ha visto tal película, esta película en este caso. Y tenemos que esta experiencia en este caso se ha repetido 3 veces, ¿no? So, she has already watched this movie 3 times. Entonces, para simplificar, tenemos el cuadrito a mano derecha, ¿no? Si es finish, pasado simple. Si not finish, presente perfecto. ¿Vale? ¿Dudas? ¿Preguntas?
No, ya está un poco más claro.
Sí. Vamos a hacer, bueno, la próxima clase el viernes vamos a
Sí,
continuar con este tema, ¿vale? Y pues nos veremos el viernes, ¿vale? Si
ok.
no hay dudas ni
Thank you, teacher.
preguntas, nos vemos el viernes.
Ujú.
Y You. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care and goodbye.